Thank you for tuning in to Creative Creatures. I am here with Bretton, who has formally asked me to do an interview, which I'm very excited about.
We're going to be talking about Port Huron politics and just life in general, I imagine.
Official,
Give you one of
formal
those.
meeting.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, you've been here in the Port Huron area for like a decade now, right?
About, yeah.
And what's your impression?
People are interesting, but that is a big part of why I love Port Huron is the people. Even though it can be rough waters sometimes, I love my community and I love getting to meet new people and learn about their lived experiences. The biggest blessing also is being right by the water. It's something I couldn't take for granted. The art diversity, the new businesses that are attempting to bloom in the area. I can see that there could be positive trajectory, which is what keeps me here.
Okay. I feel the same way about a lot of cities in this area. I feel that way really strongly about Saginaw, Michigan. I don't know if you've been over that way lately, but I think that they're going to experience a huge rebirth. They're right along the river too, but I think that's kind of, you touched on it, like the river is a huge part of what we have here, and so is the lake, being right at the mouth of it. There's a lot of opportunity there. We've got great parks.
I think Michigan in general is known for its natural beauty, its greenery, the way the seasons change, and it's a big reason I want to see Port Huron give into that biodiversity as well. I know we have parks and greenery here and there, but I want more. I want to see even more of it.
Yeah.
I want us to take advantage of making our space more eco-friendly, and that gives benefit in so many ways. The first one coming to mind is lowering the temperature, because I walk a lot of places, and more greenery, having even a few minutes of having trees shade your walked area makes a huge difference in 90-degree weather. So even just adding additional trees, I want more. I want more greenery.
No, I totally get it. Like, there's really good examples from the cities that I've lived in, whether it's, Detroit's got their greenway, Minneapolis has their greenway. We're kind of bound here by the river, but at the same time, the river is sort of its own blessing because that has the potential to be that greenway. If we want to add more trees to that, that would be cool, I think. It's pretty bare out there. We're looking at the riverfront right now. We're at the library for those of you at home, but there's not a lot of trees on the walkway that we're looking at right now. I know that a lot of people like to fish out there, and there's no real shade for them either, There's no reason that there shouldn't be more trees. I agree.
I know the biggest walkway area I see where people also go down to do a large amount of fishing is down by Pine Grove Park, where that boardwalk strip is. And Pine Grove Park in general, yes, it has some long-standing beautiful trees, but that whole strip by the boardwalk doesn't have any shade or greenery whatsoever. Maybe there's logistics behind that as far as the structure, the way things are built by the boardwalk. I'm not educated enough to speak on that, but the park in general also could just do for more trees. But I agree that there is a huge advantage being right by the water, and another big curated spot that I know a lot of people go to is Desmond's Landing, or down by the River Walk, which to me is a really good example of taking advantage of the biodiversity. They have label markers throughout the whole scenery down there of the different aspects of what they're growing, what that space is curated for, and there's wildlife down there of all types and flowers of different varieties. It's its own thing, and I love going down there. It's right by the river.
Yeah, I don't know if I've been down to Desmond's Landing yet, honestly. I've definitely walked the riverfront.
Another key highlight down there, they have a tunnel that is filled with mural art from different artists. They worked on that project for quite some time. It used to be a graffiti tunnel with its own form of beautiful art, but they dedicated that space to artists, and once again, I love the vibrancy, I love the creativity, the diversity. We need more of that here too. I am always blown away when I travel to especially larger cities where it's just you can see the culture in every space around you, on every building, every billboard, on the sidewalks, in the plant life. You can see that the city is thriving in its own unique way. And Port Huron has its own type of unique charm to it, with it being a historical town. And I mean, I still kind of view it as a small town. It has that kind of interconnectedness. I mean, everybody knows each other here, but I could see it becoming more artfully diverse in its own way.
I think that there's a lot of potential business-wise downtown as well. I know that a lot of, boutique businesses find it difficult. There's a lot of turnover right in the, the main downtown area. I just think it's a question of finding the right product for, the area.
I have heavy opinions about that.
Go ahead.
This town is becoming gentrified. I do not shop at any of those boutiques.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a single person who does, actually.
Okay.
And I'm not saying they don't get business. I'm not saying what they're selling is bad or what they're doing is wrong, but it's overpriced for what it is. I'm well aware of a new shop that just opened up. I went in there to explore a little bit, and what they're selling is phenomenal. It's really cool. I love the vibe in there, but overpriced. And we're looking at a community of people who are primarily living in poverty. So when I look at these shops that are opening up, and restaurants too, I mean, some of these inflated prices are just, you pay them if you want to. Most of it is good product, but I don't think people can afford it. Mm-hmm. And that's a big concern.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a rough time right now. I mean, I say this as someone who, owns a food truck, it's not the best time. It's still good for festivals and things like that, but I would say that food right now and alcohol sales have just tanked, which, I mean, in general, yeah, bars are really feeling it right now, and so are restaurants, unfortunately.
And I want to mention again, I don't want it to come across that I'm nitpicking or demeaning any of these businesses or their owners or their employees, but I mean, everybody's struggling right now.
Oh yeah,
so it's sure. Kind of a hard area to look at and try to determine what the best next form of action is for that. Yeah,
I would agree. I think that, on a national level, something needs to be done in the sense that, we need to sort of say to ourselves, look, let's put people to work fixing the things that we already have. Like, that's kind of how I feel, is I think that it's just like an infrastructure. This is sort of like, go back to the FDR plan of let's just fix our roads, fix our bridges, fix our parks, fix the schools. Everybody's on an even playing field, universal health care, and then go a long way to fixing the average person's belief that we are a country and that we are one people and that we take care of each other. Like, I think that's what my thought is, but go ahead and give me your opinion.
I will always love diverting back to the national cause, because it is our entire infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Things have to collapse and crumble and be recreated into something new, because it's clearly not working. Mm-hmm. And what's happening is only getting worse exponentially, to the point most people I know are just really struggling right now. The average working citizen is pissed and tired and working to death, pretty much. And I don't necessarily lean into labels of politics. You can call it socialism, but if people had their primary needs met, housing, healthcare, food, and water, we would see a completely different social and economic atmosphere. The crime rates would go down, mental health issues would be easier addressed, and people wouldn't be operating out of survival mode and in crisis.
Yeah, I agree. People make terrible decisions when they're in that level. They take on payday loans, they do all kinds of things that are just not in their interest at all.
Being poor is expensive.
Being poor is debilitating. It's mentally debilitating. Like, yeah, I think that you're right. Nationalism is kind of, I just recognize also that like the left and the right are constructs that were created to divide people. That there aren't aspects to communism that make sense. Like when I say we need to put everybody to work and we need health care for everybody. Like, I mean, you could call me a communist if you wanted to, but I also believe that, everybody should be able to defend their home the way that they want to, It's an interesting time because people on what were this old left and old right are now sort of the opinion that we just want to take care of the country together as a nation, and you can call it nationalism if you want to, but it is what it is.
Well, goodness, maybe we would actually get positive changes done if people looked at it from that perspective of, we just need to build a better nation instead of, well, I only care about who's on my side, and because it's becoming a tired game. I'm tired of hearing it.
I'm so tired of fighting with people, like, and having these prescribed talking points that you see on TV. It's disgusting. Like, and people fall for it. I have friends that'll watch these Sunday morning politics shows. They'll be watching it, and the commercials come on, and it's for all oil companies, and it's like, dude, come on. Like, you know who's paying for this and pushing these narratives. Like, this isn't where the story is. This is not where the fight is at all. So
there is deep intention. I mean, the system is working as intended politically. It's working as intended to keep us fighting with each other and blaming each other and being divided in a communal and national sense. We are being isolated on a mental, physiological level, being told, well, you shouldn't care about your common folk because you have to worry about yourself and your own survival needs, and the pits against each other, especially with discrimination, targeting individual groups, especially minorities, and then saying, those are the people you need to worry about. You are totally fine. You're just, because you're in this cult, you're just accepted. Nothing's wrong with you.
Yeah.
But you need to blame all the other people that are different from you and take them out of the country, take them out of this world, clearly, because they're the problem, not the infrastructure of everything that's leaving, you broke and hopeless. That's not the problem to address.
Yeah, the ownership dynamic of all that, right? Like, what people have to put up with in terms of where they are on the ownership level, and then just private equity, right? Like, just trying to make everything worth less and pocket more, like, that's kind of how I look at it.
I mean, we pay taxes to our government. We get money taken out of our paychecks for our hard work. And what is that funding back to us exactly? I don't feel I am being benefited by the government.
Yeah, it's we're right back to like no taxation without representation.
Exactly.
Because everyone's getting their money from a foreign country or a corporation, and that leaves us powerless, right? Like, it's obviously not our Congress, so it's difficult, and you do have to organize for something like that on a national level. Like, I'm not saying we come up with another political party or something, but definitely have to have something that challenges the duopoly, uniparty, whatever you want to call it, I guess. But yeah, neither party is going to get us. Like, voting, a lot of this, I feel, is not going to solve things. If we put our own initiatives on the ballot, I think it's great. You can recall politicians, that's easy. But what are your ambitions in Port Huron? What are you thinking you want to do personally?
Yes, let's direct it back a little
Sorry,
bit. No,
sorry.
do not be sorry, because nationwide, that could go on forever.
But yeah, I mean, these policies, I mean, they need to be reflected at a local level. But yeah, a lot of our issues are primarily national. I get it, but at the same time, you know, you've lived here for 10 years. You've obviously got an opinion about what else you can do in this area. Like, what is that area like for you? Let me ask you that.
Well, during my time here, the experiences that I have had with some of the substantial issues that have arisen within my life, it is some of the primary key themes I talk about, which is a walkable city, housing stability and security, especially when dealing with landlord situations, slumlords, and unsafe housing.
We got a ferry going by.
Yeah, I love when they.
Yeah.
Job security, creating more jobs. I'm actually planning to touch more on some of my lived experiences, addressing the city directly, because I have had some major awful issues come to rise, especially within the last year that I lived directly in the downtown strip. Awful incidences with employment, housing, and overall safety within the environment.
I would say if you want to speak to any of your experiences, like, please do. Like, I'd love to hear them. Like, I'm sure there's shared experiences out there, you know?
My primary means of transportation is walking. My body is my car. I take myself where I need to go. And the recklessness and endangerment that people have put me in, just driving in their cars and not paying attention, is genuinely concerning, especially being right on the downtown strip where people are supposed to go 25 miles an hour. I've seen people easily go 40, 50,
Yeah, okay.
Zero fucks given.
Yeah.
And additionally, because none of the crosswalks are marked properly and people have to pull up due to the parallel parking to even see, some people are just speeding up to these stops, and I have almost been hit so many times. I have also had people get upset with me for walking and have attempted to hit me purposefully.
Yeah.
Or have rolled down their window and screamed at me for being in the crosswalk. And I'm paying attention to my surroundings. They have plenty of time to stop, but clearly pedestrians aren't welcome. And so I think a large part of it is people paying attention just in general, being mindful of the fact that, especially in a more dense area where people will be walking around, pay attention to your surroundings. But the idea of the painted crosswalks, I am all for that, because it's visible. It makes people pay attention. It catches their eye. It also shows them, I need to pull behind this, not on top of it. And I think there should be either speed bumps or more crosswalk markers actually in the road, the signs that they put up that say pedestrians crossing. I think there needs to be more visibility and a way to slow people down. I also think the crosswalks need to extend further within the city. I think they should go down the whole stretch of Military up past like where Pine Grove Park is, especially that whole strip, because people walk. I see people walking that area all the time, and it is not safe, and their lives are important.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that, walkability is definitely one of the things that people are focusing on for downtowns. And yeah, there's a decent population density down here. And why wouldn't you want to walk around this area? Like, it really is beautiful. You've got a river there, you've got some parks, you've got, McMorrin's over there if you want to go see a concert or something, I guess. Is there anything that you think that you would change as far as community programming or just anything along the lines of like festivals or anything that we have here?
I love this question.
Okay, yeah. I ask good ones, I try to at least.
Yeah, I'm loving this so far.
Okay.
I think a lot of the things I see within this community, we have incredible art and community meetings. I mean, the event they just held, I'm unfamiliar with the name, I did not attend, but the live mannequins, that the whole event they do where people dress up as these fashionistas, and I think it's a fundraiser event, if I'm not wrong.
Like
but
a fashion show.
Similarly,
Yeah.
but it's to support businesses as far as I'm aware, and I know that they have multitude of events at McMorran. They have live music all downtown at a variety of bars. I think a lot of what I see is catered to people in their mid-30s and up.
How old are you? Let me ask you that.
How old do you think I am?
I'm gonna say late 20s.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm a good guesser.
But most people within my age range, people who are in their young 20s going into their mid 20s, I mean, the only thing there is to do here is go to a bar.
Yeah, I would agree.
That is the communal space. As far as third spaces, I mean, there are some fun activities to do. I know that the Foundry offers, but me personally, I mean, I'm an extremely creative person. I've never gone to the Foundry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing against the Foundry. Some of their events that they hold just don't pique my interest.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the Soulback bar is opening up, which is a sober bar.
Oh,
which
really?
is going to have live events and
That sounds awesome.
food to serve. And I think I have extremely high hopes for that place.
That sounds really, really cool.
Yes, it is located right downtown. I have very high hopes for it. I could see that being a blooming business in this area.
Oh, for sure. So this would be like an ideal place to go to play like board games and stuff until late into the evening, basically?
As far as I'm aware, they are going to have different games and like a lounge room set up. So
Cool.
for event hosting and things like that. And, you know, you're going to see me on the stage too.
Okay, cool. That is a pretty interesting thing to have that opening up, honestly. Like,
I just know that I attend SC4 and I speak to a lot of the college students when in between classes, after class, the only place there really is to go downtown is a restaurant. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
A restaurant, and I know a lot of people go to Border Keep games. Me personally, I don't consider myself a nerd, so I don't go in there. Nerd as a compliment. Nobody diss me.
Sure.
But I think having third spaces is especially important for the young adults. I mean, there is a bridging conversation opening up about how to keep college students, especially people who are attending here for school, to keep them in the area, make them stay, make them go into the downtown square to spend money and hang out. But I mean, unless you're getting something to eat,
yeah.
Usually I'll take myself to the park. Like,
Yeah, it's tough. It's so hard in this economy to shop downtown at a lot of these places. And you mentioned their prices before. Like, it's really expensive. Like, it's very expensive.
I could see a trinket shop doing really well. When I say trinkets, I mean, picture the first thing that comes to my head is a Claire's, which is, hear me out, kind of cutesy, but there's multiple little things you can pick up. And I know a majority of people who just want to purchase, I guess, collectibles or shiny things, or things like little toys and jewelry.
Funko Pops.
Funko
maybe.
Pops, exactly. Stuff like that. And I could see a shop with that type of trinket assortment doing really well downtown, especially for the young adults. I could see them making purchases there.
Mm-hmm.
Having young adult media, movies and video games, or whatever. Something like that I could see popping off for the young community.
Yeah, I think I could see an Asian grocer that also, like a full restaurant inside of it, like / deli, like Asian deli kind of thing.
Can you imagine? That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I would love that downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And the grocery that just closed downtown, I have mixed opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It might upset some people, but I did not shop there, even though I lived right on the downtown strip, because most every time I went in there, their produce was bad, or they didn't have any produce, or things were overpriced. And once again, it's just why?
Yeah.
I heard incredible things about their meat selection and their desserts and things like that, which once again, I'm not dissing them, but my personal choice was not to shop there. There wasn't something specific that drew me in to make me think I want to shop here more than going to a department store. Cheaper, more easily accessible.
I personally never shop there either. It's just, and the economy that we're in, it's difficult to shop local, and a lot of times because of that, it's harder for the local guys to compete. It's harder for them to keep good produce in stock, etc. So.
And I know that they are moving the Children's Museum into there. So I know that the people who owned it, apologies for not knowing them by name, but they had sold it for a relatively cheap price, like gave it to them appropriately to offer it as the Children's Museum. So I do commend them, and I commend them for the time and energy and effort they put into trying to establish a healthy, good running business downtown. I give them props for that, but I feel that way about most of the businesses who have given it a shot and just couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I find it really sad.
It is. It's very difficult. And that's, where I live in the Thumb. I'm in a small town, but like, it's the same story. Growing up, we shopped for our school clothes right in this, town of 1,000 people, like there were businesses that you could go buy clothes at,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just sort of like, almost a myth now. I think that there's potential. I'm glad that the people who do have the money to shop downtown do shop downtown. That's really important. It's just the middle class is shrinking.
Well, I mean, that is one of the things too. The middle class is probably primarily who's coming downtown to do the shopping. And you touched also on clothes. I had mentioned the boutiques downtown. I know that we have the antique store, which I think is a wonderful thing to have downtown. They have all sorts of stuff in there, but once again, can be a little overpriced given what it is. But speaking again to the young adult community, I don't know a single person who shops at any of the boutiques downtown. There are 2 to 3 of just older women's boutiques, and that's great for the middle class, middle-aged, older women who want to come shop. But that young adult community, where's the selection for their fashion? Where are they supposed to go? They have the dress shop, A Beautiful Me, which I think is a wonderful business. They have a phenomenal selection of dresses. It's great, but I also had a personal discrepancy when I went in there. Just a little side story tangent will go on, but I had gone in there shopping with a group of friends, and some of the people in there with that group I had were men, and the employees, the owner, whoever it was, became hostile towards me and said, you need to leave. The boys aren't allowed to shop here. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Actually, we all are allowed to look at the dresses. And she said, that's not appropriate. The boys can't look at dresses. So we left and did not buy anything. So I felt that was inappropriate and made me not want to go back there.
So you're saying they actually discriminated against the men in your group about whether or not they should be allowed to look at dresses, which obviously anyone should be allowed to look at a dress.
Because you don't know what they're shopping for. Maybe they're buying a gift for somebody. You don't know. But they made assumptions looking at people like me and my other friends and just assumed and also, yes, discriminated. So I do not support that business. I know that they are a charity shop, but if that's the case, you should be accepting of everybody who comes into your store. So they did not get my money that day, and they won't in the future.
Needless to say, yeah. Is there anything that you want to say about as far as your future in Port Huron, or what you want to achieve, or how you plan on achieving that? Is there anything that you have, in the pipes?
Due to my lived experience being here, the problems I have seen arise with myself and my community, it's part of the reason I've been showing up to City Council. I have a lot of things to say, and I want to hear their responses. I want to hear and have conversations with them about, well, what can we do to make changes here? Primarily the 3 main pinpoints I've been talking about, which is housing, jobs, and the environment. So I want equal, better, cheaper, safer housing. I want jobs to be sustainable and treat their employees better. I want more job opportunities. And I want a greener, safer environment.
Okay. And do you think that you would potentially run for city council or anything like that?
What do you think?
Well, I think it seems like a logical step forward. I mean, it's a good way to get your views, you know, obviously into the forum every single week, you know, so.
I actually spent probably about the last 4 or 5 weeks doing some deep research into city council and taking accountability of what my responsibilities would be if I was to take on that role.
Mm-hmm.
It is something I am definitely considering, but I'm also actively pursuing my education and trying to become a more knowledgeable, studious, dedicated, understanding person. And I am now seeking out people in my community to listen to them and understand their struggles. I want to not become more well known, but to get involved and be able to branch out and be a part of this interconnectedness we all have. And I think there's too much on my plate right now, too many responsibilities, and entering into city council is a huge responsibility.
I would agree.
So I've definitely been thinking it over. It's not to say it won't happen in the future, but right now, I know if I fought for it, I could make significant changes here, but what I'm doing right now is still good enough. Showing up, making waves, and speaking about the changes to be made. I can still do a lot of important work even if I'm not on the council, because they're gonna hear me anyways. So even if I'm not in charge or have, you know, a vote in the matter, I think my opinion and perspective can still make a difference. So in the future, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it speaks to your maturity, the fact that you realize that, you know, you're still in a place where you're learning. And yeah, not a lot of people, you know, myself included, back in the day, you know, have that sort of perspective on it and that sort of humility, I guess. So that's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we take off?
I think this has been an enlightening conversation.
No, I would agree, for sure. Yeah.
Very happy that you asked me to speak with you, and
yeah,
I could see us doing this again. There's
yeah.
so much to talk about.
Hey, you know, the world just keeps developing around us, and it's good to have conversations about that and the direction that we would rather go in, you know. So, yeah, thanks
Absolutely.
very much for having
You as well,
for coming
Bretton.
down here. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.